Johnny!
What?
Wake your brother up at 7 o'clock.
AM or PM?
He only sleeps during the day, John. PM.
Oh yeah, he's a vampire.
Count Robula!
Alright.
Do-do-do-do-do. Sweet solitaire.
We're running back and forth between houses. What the fuck? Godzilla?
Rob, time to get up.
No.
Come on, it's like 7 PM. You've been asleep for days now.
Sleep good.
They wake better.
No.
Dude, get up. You gotta be kidding me.
I'm naked!
Oh, you may have won this round, but the fight is far from over. I will get you out of bed.
Fucking wee! Fucking wee! Fucking wee!
If I can't get Rob out of bed, I'll force him out with loud music.
Wake up! Wake up! This is why you gotta wake up! It's Robby, you really gotta wake up! You better sleep! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Johnny's tired of waiting! Wake up. Come on, Rob, just wake up, everybody! No more sleeping in bed! Wake up, Robert.
Rob will smell biscuits and gravy on the plate and come to try and eat it, tugging on the rope, which will pull the needle, and the bowling ball will roll down and hit Abraham Lincoln, who will get pissed off and throw his top hat, pressing the button that'll set the mice loose, that'll stampede on the gunpowder, that'll ignite on the hot oven, which will set the smoke alarm off and make Rob get up. My elaborate plan cannot fail.
Wait a minute, they're on the ground. I don't want to eat this off the ground. What with the filth and dog hair all over?
Damn it. Haha, I finally came up with a perfect way to get Rob up. More perfect than the last plan, which was also perfect. Sort of.
Blood and blazes? Oh wait, Johnny must have turned the fan up. It's cold. But I will prevail! I will never wait! Haha, I beat you! You never got me out of bed!
Look at your feet.
Hmm?
The fan froze you, so I thawed you out in a tub. Now you have to wake up.
Well, you'll never get me out of this tub. Good night. Wake up, never Robert! Get your ass out of bed! Pissing me off with your shit, man. Come on now. I sang it wrong. Sing it wrong, he sang it wrong. I didn't do it right. Fucked it up, yeah. Stop throwing the bed. Rolling over in your sheets, man. Messing with my head. Come on now. And I believe that is all for now. Hey, how about some more?
Ah, fuck! I think it's bleeding.
Still not getting out of bed.
I think you broke it.
You're gonna try harder than that.
You're gonna have to try harder than that if you're gonna go into get in bed. You gotta fucking do it, dude.
Haha, Rob will smell the biscuits and gravy on the plate and come to try and eat it. Tugging on the rope that'll pull the needle so the bowling ball will roll down and hit Abraham Lincoln, who will get pissed off and throw his top hat, pressing the button that will release the mice that will stampede on the gunpowder that will ignite on the hot oven, which will send the smoke alarm off and make Rob get up. Haha! My elaborate plan cannot fail!
And you're expecting me to say this? What the fuck?
Exactly. Wait a minute, they're on the ground! I don't want to eat it on the ground! What, with the building dog hair all over?
My elaborate plan cannot fail. 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 Fail.
That's my attempt at Godzilla's roar. So enough of that.
And the ball keeps on rolling with episode 2. In this one I focus more on shading and trying to make the camera angles more dynamic in an attempt to make everything look more interesting. I think that for the most part I pulled it off pretty well. I also tried to throw more action into this one, in the dream sequences anyway. I mean, and it's kind of funny that I was all, you know, basically the fact that I put any shading at all into it was interesting for me. But, I mean, for the most part, most of the shading was not there. But, I mean, there were a couple of times whenever I, you know, experimented a little bit with shading, you know, with, like, dynamic light sources and stuff, and trying to make it look more dynamic. And in those spots, it worked pretty well, you know. I amped it up more in the later cartoons, but I was starting to experiment with it in this one. Look at the level of detail I put into some of the backgrounds. The backgrounds that I mainly refer to are the ones in the third dream sequence, the minute-long one where I run from girls at the camp. I mean, I kind of went crazy with those backgrounds, even though it's not really funny, but, I mean, at least it's nice to look at. And also, it's funny looking at things like this because, I mean, you know, it's just squiggly lines for detail. I mean, a couple gradients and some squiggly lines. You know, back then that was, you know, more effort because I was actually drawing something instead of just making basic shapes and stuff. But, you know, progress is progress. And I know what some of you are going to think after watching this cartoon, or at least those that watched it, you know, a decade and a half ago. Godzilla? Abraham Lincoln? The ultimate showdown! I mean, I didn't even notice this connection until I was animating the last scene. It wasn't intended, of course, but, I mean, it's kind of funny all the same. It happens. And, I mean, you know, the Ultimate Showdown was a lot more popular than what I did, of course. But, I mean, you know, at the same time, even at this point, the Ultimate Showdown's definitely one of those historic things that's like, oh, yeah, I remember that from a really long time ago. Yeah, a bunch of popular characters at the time getting murdered by, you know, Mr. Rogers or whatever. I mean, you know, it was fun for the time. Shading. Yeah, I tried to keep the shading more consistent, but for the most part, it's about the same. Check out the shading on the third dream sequence, though. I tried making the shading not only look good, but actually pretty accurate considering the light sources and the spots I used. Yeah, now that I think about it, the shading stuff was mostly for the dream sequences, which, I mean, kind of, like, sets it apart from, like, the realistic stuff, which is funny that the dreams are more realistic than the live action stuff was supposed to be. The quote-unquote live action, because it's a cartoon, it's all a cartoon, obviously, but you know what I mean. And just for the record, when Rob says, "I'm naked," he's not actually naked. He's wrapped in a blanket. You know, and he's wearing boxers as well. He just said that to get Johnny out of there. Delicious randomosity. All the dream sequences in this tune are based on real dreams I've had. No, I'm not going further on your asses, but it was fun animating them in any case. I have some pretty fucked up dreams on my own, but they usually involve random characters from random shit doing random things. Not scary, just odd as all hell. Honky. And I mean, I'm not really sure what I'm referring to as Firth. I mean, David Firth, I guess. I guess he had made an animation about dreams, or is that the Salad Fingers thing? Like, that was based on a dream? I can't recall exactly now. It was some kind of reference to that. And it's actually funny because these dreams were actually pulled from a file that I had at the time. It was like a Word document thing where I kept track of all the dreams that I'd had. Whenever I'd have a good dream, I'd, like, you know, open up a Word file and then I'd just, you know, write it out there. I must have had like 30 or some odd dreams in there. And I pulled a couple of those for this animation for years, you know, the ones that I thought would be visually interesting. And they were recent at the time, so I mean, you know, that was fun too, because they were like visually like poignant. I remembered how they looked and everything, so you know, it was all good. The point being that due to hard drive crashes and stuff, I've lost that file, so I have no idea. Like, I don't dream nearly as vividly anymore. I do have them every now and then, but I used to do it. I used to have it at a constant rate. Like, it'd be like every night, every other night or something. Yeah. Count Robula! The only joke no one ever laughs at. A tear for him and his ridiculously large fangs. Which, I mean, I don't know. I always enjoyed that joke because it's kind of stupid. Like, there's no point in it being there at all. I mean, it's kind of a fucking Family Guy cutaway gag or something. Like, I'd never do that. And just for it to happen out of nowhere and then just go back to, you know, normal storytelling and then that's it. Like, it wasn't a dream sequence or anything. It's literally just me making a joke about being a vampire and for no reason that was in there. And it's not like I do anything like that ever since. It's just this one time I was just like, fuck it, who cares? I care, apparently. I cared enough to put it in there. Bitch! Tidal Wave is better than you! This picture is only here because there aren't any pictures of Johnny here. I really didn't do anything interesting for the Johnny bits. Poor him. Which, I mean, you know, obviously John's interesting bits were like, you know, him playing all that music, which makes it difficult for me to put this on YouTube because then it's like, oh no, you're gonna get hit with a copyright strike. Even though it's not a strike, it's like, you know, oh, well, we're just not gonna monetize you. And nobody monetizes me anyway, so who cares? I'm not getting money either way. Fucking YouTube algorithms and shit effing me in the A. Bad, son, it's bad. No good. Speaking of Johnny, this is my least favorite. Why would I include this? This is my least favorite angle of him. What the fuck? I mean, I don't like it. I don't like it still. I mean, he's got a weird froggish face to him, but it's just like, it just makes no sense that I would keep it in there. Or like, I drew attention to it. Speaking of Johnny, this is my least favorite head angle of his I've ever drawn. I have no idea why I don't like it. I just don't. I just explained it. It's kind of he has kind of a froggy face to it, and it looks bizarre. Hopefully, I'll redo this before the next cartoon. Keep your fingers crossed. Editor's note: I didn't redo it for the next one. Dog Days of Boredom does have that angle that I don't like. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. And actually, I think I basically just kept all the heads the same until the 5th episode. The 5th episode is the one where I actually like redrew everything. Pretty sure that I had it in half beard also, and then obviously the Papa Cap episode. Mini episode or whatever. So, yeah. This picture makes me want to cry. I was working on the last scene when this happened. I never want it to happen again. It's like one of those Simpsons dolls with the plastic heads or something. I'm sure it'll induce nightmares more horrific than ever thought possible. I'm gonna go lie down. I think I'm just being a smartass here, because I mean, you know, I made the face on purpose because I found it funny. Anywho. And now it's time for random things from the cartoon. Things like my blue duck tattoo, which I actually have, my solitaire-addicted dad, and Adrian. Adrian's a friend of mine who makes a cameo as a background character. Where is he? Wouldn't you like to know? Yes. Okay, we're gonna dissect this a little bit. All right. First of all, the blue duck tattoo. Somebody made a comment like a week or so ago about my Twitter tattoo, which it's funny now that the Twitter logo is a bird that's blue, you know. But this tattoo of mine is not actually that, because I had it before Twitter even existed. Ya twit. It's actually the blue duck from Billy Madison. You know, like his character, you know, he's going through school and everything, and when he's in the 1st grade, he draws that blue duck because he really wanted to see a blue duck. Well, that's an excellent blue duck, Billy. Congratulations, you passed the 1st grade. Oh, that's wonderful, Ms. Libby. What do you think about that, Mr. Blue Duck? That's fantastic. I'm not good at quoting things. That wasn't accurate at all. But the point is, that was that's what that was from. I pulled that screenshot exactly. I took it to the fucking tattoo guy. I was like, make this a tattoo, and he just looked at me incredulously, and he's like, okay. And it's not a very good tattoo either. It's all spotty and stuff because apparently it didn't heal well or something. I don't know. And the second thing, my solitaire-addicted dad. I've already talked about him at length for like 8 minutes in the Rob Blah Blah episode, Rob Blah Blah 2, talking about my dad. I mean, watch that if you haven't yet, because, I mean, you know, it's got a lot more insider information than you could possibly ever want, unless you're a Siblings fan, which, I mean, if you're watching this already right now, then obviously you are, so if you haven't seen that yet, fucking watch it. It's got the Siblings energy, just without the whole, you know, juxtaposition against a monotone character like John. It's just me and my insanity. That's, you know, kind of the point of the series, is I can unhinge and do whatever, and, you know, you should check it out if you haven't. Shrug, just saying. And then Adrian. Obviously, he makes a cameo later in the Twilight episode. You know, that's that same guy. It's actually funny how often Adrian shows up in my cartoons. Like, good lord. Like, you would think that, like, my friend Ryan Wells would show up more in my cartoons. He was like we had Hot Room with the Matrix. You know, we were both main characters in that and whatever. And, like, you know, he had a big part in helping develop that. Adrian was just kind of, like, thrown into a lot of my things. Like, you know, he's a good friend of mine, but he's not really into animation. He's more into, physical activities and sports and drinking and stuff. It's like, all right, that's cool, Adrian. But, for whatever reason, I'm just like, dude, Adrian, get in this. Adrian, get in this. Hey, Adrian, you want to be in this? He's in some of the better things that I've done, I think. He's in, Don't Go Wandering, my best, live action short film. He's in, Twilight, which was, one of the episodes that got the most attention. And obviously he shows up in the background of this for absolutely no reason. I mean, you can barely tell it's him. He's got like the hair highlights and stuff. I mean, I don't even remember if he looked the same at the time, but man, that was a long rambly fucking rant. Okay, the next siblings cartoon I'm going to do is going to be the one that I talked about in the Scrapbook of Runesuck, which we haven't covered yet. We're going to cover that later at some point. Which is actually funny because I keep seeing these fucking advertisements for RuneScape. 19 years in the making. It's like, wow, this would be perfect for me to redo RuneSuck in HD. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll do that next month. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Anyway, it will be a day in the life of Spike, their dog. Johny and Rob will be bothering the shit out of him the entire time, but he won't really give a shit because he's a dog. Expect it in a few months or so, as it won't be as complicated to animate as this tune was. Should still turn out pretty good. Boop! Hey, have you had enough of this picture yet? No? Good, because it's here again. Never can have enough of this damn picture. And sarcasm. Don't wake Robby. And don't ask why the hell I decided to do an episode based on a fucking board game. Like, for some reason, I'm just like, ooh, I could do a cartoon where John's trying to wake me up because my sleep schedule was all crazy back then. I'd like stay up till like 4 in the morning and then sleep in until 4 or 7 or whatever. I mean, I didn't really have a job at the time. I was kind of in between jobs. Living with your parents, you don't really have the whole gusto to get out and, oh, I have to do this, I have to go get a job. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's pathetic, and it's part of the reason why I'm not, like, I never made it in animation or anything, I guess. I was just like, ooh, I'll do a cartoon where he's trying to wake me up. And for some reason, the fucking thought of that board game, the fucking Don't Wake Daddy, the fucking board game where you have to mess around or something and shake dice and the little fucking toy pops up and he's like, ah, his googly eyes or some shit. And it's just like, all right, that's cool, I guess. Let's do that as the fucking title of the cartoon. Okay. And we'll do the intro graphic as the title. It's funny that it don't mention the fucking thing in this scrapbook at all, but, it's whatever. It's fun. And I mentioned it now, so it's better late than never. Better at all than not at all. My friends, my internet friends, and that's it. That's all. Hope you found what you were looking for. Once again, if you've exalted every nook and cranny of this Flash or YouTube video by watching it to the end, and want more, you can watch the other cartoons I've made, or go to my website. You can't go to my website anymore. I don't have a .com anymore. I got rid of that thing because it was $90 a year, and I couldn't really afford it at the time. I could afford it now, but I can't really afford the time sink it would take to fucking maintain that thing. And the way that social media is these days, there's no real point in doing it. And some people would be like, ooh, it's for free advertising. I don't see how that could be free advertising. Like, you'd have to be like, you have to have a really popular website to begin with to be able to call it a worthwhile investment. So, unless you already have a popular property, it's not gonna be worth the effort. And now, here's another page. This one was actually part of a Flash that I'd found earlier. An earlier rendition of Don't Wake Robby. Apparently, the fixed version, I take a page out. I don't know. Maybe it was because at the time I probably wasn't talking to Ryan. Me and Ryan went through like a dry spell where I didn't talk to him for a few years because he was pissing me off. This was just free advertising for him, just trying to spread the word out about him. He and I are friends obviously now. So I'm going to throw it back in here for all those people that are like, what? Look at those old buttons in the spinning 3D background that I made when I was, studying 3D in college. Oh man, look at that shit. Oh man, it's spinning. And just for the hell of it, here's a website of my friend Ryan Wells' cartoons. For those who want even more, you gluttons for hilarity. Just a warning though, his cartoons are dirtier and less tasteful than mine. He likes to hit below the belt. You've been warned. Fartoons.net, which he does still have that website. The point is, Mr. Wells and I do a lot of good stuff. And we've been collaborating a little bit here and there in the past couple of years. So, I mean, obviously if you want to see stuff like that, I mean, he and I collaborated on that gun cartoon that I did, Smoking Gun, he did voices in that, and, a discussion that he'd had on Facebook kind of inspired that cartoon, so, I mean, check that one out if you haven't. We do that Make a Stink series where we talk about things that he enjoys, and, I just give color commentary on, because I don't really care. I mean, for the most part, it's like, I don't worship celebrities is my thing. I do like some things, obviously. I'm not a crazy fan over it. I'm not like gonna collect a bunch of collectibles, and collecting things takes a lot of money, and I'm a cheap bastard. But if you haven't seen Make a Stink, it's a pretty good series, I think. We have some fun one-off moments where we go on and on about topics and things. So, you want more live action stuff, you check that out, alright? And that's all that I have to say about that, ladies and gentlemen, alright? I hope you enjoyed Don't Wake Robby in all of its HD glory. See you next month.
Don't wake Robby.
Okay.